There are 32 players, all playing under various aliases. We don't know who any of them are. All we know currently is their venue preferences, and we'll get to that shortly. First, actually, I've got the guest list here. These are all the players that could be in the tournament. And you may notice pretty quickly that there are more than 32 names on that list. So Gabriel's already lying to us.
Yeah. Well, obviously, you want the pool to be a little bigger than the number of people there. Otherwise, you're just sort of mixing and matching.
And
some
then
of these
on top of that, there are a few names that are redacted. So there are possibly players that aren't on that list that are in the hidden cup.
This is Toby's attempt to make the guest list slightly more secure since he loses it so often.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it works well because I have no clue who's supposed to be here and not. Anyway, I'm gonna show this is the starting bracket here. These are all the names. We're gonna go through go to the first two on the upper left here. We got Jason Bourne and Yvonne Pennyweather, and then Michael Weston and Clarice Sophia Morgenstern. The second names in both of those are old art character names, just in case anybody here wasn't around during those beautiful times.
Yeah, I didn't check. I think, Kletos, you weren't on the possible list, but Corvus, were you? I didn't see.
I believe I'm on the guest list, actually.
Yeah, and I am too. So if any of you, so just to be clear, yes, anyone on that list could be in this tournament. That includes a couple of the people casting today and who will probably be casting some of the other matches as well. So if you catch us conspicuously praising one of the spies, you might want to factor that into your guess.
All right, well, we'll get into the draft here. The draft here is a little unusual in that the players themselves do not choose the venues. We're going to show it now. So all the players were asked to rate the venues on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being they always double, 5 being that they would always ban it. So basically 1 is the best, 5 is the worst. And we can see right away that Jason Bourne likes ballroom, so they're obviously Opie rights. Yvonne, not a huge fan of any venues, but they like Courtyard okay, and Gallery. They do not like Aquarium, though, so that could also be Opie.
Well, yeah. What I like about Pennyweather here is that there are no number ones. They don't love any venues. Do they even want to be playing, I wonder?
I don't know. Anyhow, we're going to take those, send them through our patented Gabriotron algorithm to find the perfect draft.
This is my first time seeing these draft assets, and hats off, Kletos.
Thank you. I took me an entire week to make this.
Oh, wow. Time well spent.
Yes. Well, I mean, not the whole week, but just after work, of course. Because
fair enough.
I also have a job. Anyhow, this is a draft. Gabriel apparently picked library, ballroom, pub, gallery, and Tayen. The perfect draft, although it's missing, Courtyard.
Aside from Redwoods, this is basically the perfect draft of venues, I would say.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, yeah, there are no trees here. I mean, there is a tree on pub. There are a lot of trees on Tayen. Just none of them are in the way of the sniper.
Right, and it's not that the snipers have a problem with. They don't just hate plants. They hate plants in the way of spies.
Yep. Anyway, we're gonna get on to the actual game here. So we're gonna I guess the thing I didn't say, but in round 1, all the venues are singled. So there are no doubled venues on this round, but if they're tied when they get to the end, there is a tiebreaker game, and it's one of the venues in the previous set. So there are potentially doubles, but that's only if we need them.
All right, looking forward to it.
And also missions equals points if we really need it.
God, I hope not.
No.
I can only take so much, Kletos. Are we ready to go? Is everyone all set?
Yes, I am ready to go. We got Yvonne Pennyweather here as Plain Twin. Ready to read some books.
All right.
Sounds good.
I guess I'll count us in. Yvonne Pennyweather on Library, whoever that is, in 3, 2, 1, playing it. And obviously, as the tournament goes on, we'll have opinions about playstyles and which character is which. And we'll also have a little bit of tournament history. They did this before, they did that before. But right now, this is a total blank slate. We have no idea, other than their venue preferences, who each player is.
Yeah, the players don't know who they are either, but I think Library is actually going to be a good place to start. It's a long venue, a lot of stuff active, a lot of chances for you to watch the replay back, see what the sniper does, see what the spy does, and start to get a read on their play for the rest of the match.
Yeah, I agree. Speaking of good starts, green flirt right off the bat for Yvonne with our seduction target, that's Seek. And it looks like we might hang around and do a timer flirt here. At least that's what you normally do when you flirt once and don't move for the next 10 or 20 seconds. Usually, you're not just being polite, especially on Library. Usually, it's the timer flirt. We're going to try to finish it in 2 in all likelihood. But like a good spy, Yvonne is using their camera to look around the party, see who's going to statues, see where those prints are, noticing the Amba, by the way, heading to statues. Seems very interested in that from their perspective.
Yeah, that center statue is going to be extremely valuable for us. If we go over and get it, we'll get full inspects and a print. We will not hit the flirt here, so at this point, it probably makes sense for us to go try something else like that.
Yeah, failed bug behind the pillar, but probably not caught. Did attempt it. Problem with the center statue into fingerprint is you got to hit those action tests if you want to get done in 2 cycles. We're going to go for this briefcase instead. I think we might be obligated anyway, and we'll get that first print on the way. No, it's a difficult, and it's failed. We do stop, stutter step, and follow the ambassador anyway. Let's see if we chase this all the way down. It looks like we're committed to it. We do all that walking. We do not hit the difficult, though. And that print is still sitting over there on the other side of the venue. I don't think it's been smudged yet.
Yeah, if you're going to pick up the briefcase, returning it is always a good investment. It gets it back into the ambassador's hands, gives them another chance to put it back down and pick up a print later. As it looks like we gave a lot of attention to that statue, Prince is probably on the menu for us.
Yeah, probably, and that's a good point, by the way. Yeah, you're thinking, well, I didn't hit this difficult, give the fingerprint right back. Please, do it again. Speaking of which, another difficult fingerprint, this time off a drink at Windows, and now we've spent a lot of time going after difficult fingerprints that have not taken, and there's under 3 minutes left, and we only have most of that flirt to show for it. This is a valiant effort, but boy, this game would look so different if either one of those difficults had gone through.
Yeah, or imagine both of them. At this point, our seduction target's walking past us, so we have to figure out a new mission to go for here. We're walking towards this conversation in this window, but there's really nothing here to attract us aside from maybe a statue visit. We're taking this pretty slow, and with 2.5 minutes left, we're going to have to step on the gas pretty soon if we want a mission win.
Yeah, Leopard is at that center statue, by the way, and if the sniper, Jason Bourne, does remember that, they're going to have her down for a fingerprint and possible inspects, and that could be very significant. Yvonne might have slowed down a little bit here. I wonder if they're interested in finishing or not. They have finished the seduce because why not? Low risk, give yourself some options. But with those 2 failed fingerprints and the fact that that other print is smudged, I wonder if we're thinking about backup plans here, especially if Leopard keeps busy. That was a very AI path behind the conversation, though, and if the sniper noticed, they're going to lose some heat. Mostly, Bourne seems to be watching the ambassador very, very closely.
Yeah, we're in conversation here with the double agent, and on Library, with only 2 minutes left, you kind of have to take the context as they come, but unfortunately, the double agent bails on us. We're going to try this bug, but really at this point, with 1:40, center statues is probably just something we have to do to pick up some mission progress. No real choice here. This print is still here, but it's going to be difficult to hit while hitting 3 inspects.
Yeah, definitely, and you're going to have to, I think, to have any chance. Are we going to even go for it? Are we going to even go for it? We're going to go into a 3rd cycle and a 3rd failed print. 3 strikes, you're out.
No.
3 difficult prints, none of them hit. That is absolutely brutal. Even if your AT rate is a little on the low side, you'd really hope to get at least one of those. Oh.
Well, at this point, we have 2 missions done. We can go join the double agent here. And with 1:10, if we intend to finish, we have to take this contact. It's going to be rough as there are a lot of people out of conversation. We could use it as a distraction to go try to pick up something else cheeky, maybe rip a book. But if we're just sitting here, we may be committing to the timeout or committing to a frame.
I think, yeah, we're looking at time ad or something like a purloin chain is probably your best option here. And there's a request drink and a banana bread happening in the meantime, too. The person offered beforehand white dress is in a different conversation and does take the drink, so there will not be a reject chain going into this, and Toby is walking conspicuously all the way over to a highlight who's talking with an SDA in their conversation. There's the purloin. It is a green, and it is totally on screen, but that's gotten us to 4 missions. There's a walking bug alongside the ambassador, and it does take it. A mission win is pending. We cut across the conversation. No shot is coming off. They're looking for the fade behind the pillar. It's not visible, but a cast member is taking. They're not checking the list. They're watching for the swap on Cowboy. They see the list. Maybe. No, it doesn't matter. Just shoots text. I can't believe they got to mission win countdown there.
Yeah, that was a really kind of quick finish there, but with the contact and with the purloin, that gets missions done very, very quickly. Hitting that green probably saved their life, but sometimes you hit greens and you win. And that was an example. Good play by Yvonne there, really finishing out the match strong, not being flustered by those 3 missed prints.
Wow, 3 missed prints and we still get to mission win countdown and don't get shot. That is unreal. Let it be known there were 45 seconds left on that clock and just 2 missions done, and then they fell like dominoes. Double agent, bug, purloin, bug while the purloin was pending. You could see the sniper looking for the take behind the pillar, noticing it was cast, and then turning their attentions to a statue visitor. It did not occur to them that a cast member might be taking a green purloin, and that's the difference. It turns out they shoot a civ anyway, but if they weren't onto them for the purloin or the bug, that was going to be a loss either way. Jason Bourne now, after suffering that very difficult loss, is going to have to spy on Library as Queen in 3, 2, 1, playing it. What an exciting finish. Geez, that was a very slow, frustrating, hard to watch game until the last 45 seconds, and then it was just hard to catch.
Yeah, I hope all our games will be like that. It looks like we're starting here with a pretty slow start, so we could see a repeat of that. Finishes like that, not that uncommon here on Library, especially for spies who are relatively new to the game, who haven't ironed out their pacing approach yet. Could be a clue as to the spy's identity.
That's a very good point. There are some good players, of course, who do like those late rushes, but you're right, as a general rule in a vacuum, you see that a little more often with intermediate players or novice players. But I will say the execution on that rush at the end makes me wonder if it wasn't a little more deliberate. Hard to say. Either way, we're going to get a green flirt here in at green bookshelves with Kane, our seduction target. Question is, are we going to put this book back? Was it just about the flirt, or are we actually interested in hanging on to this and doing something with it? Goes back in after 2 cycles. Gotta imagine we're going to head right over and get another flirt in, too. Try to get this done in 2.
Yeah, I really like the idea of trying to hit this green flirt right away if you hit the first one. Just get the mission done and out of the way and not have to think about it again. Because on Library, even if you leave a flirt there with 85%, you have to chase your target all the way down across the venue. That can eat up a lot of time. And at the end of Library, you don't always have it.
Yeah, absolutely right. And you really want to be thinking about those hardtails because you can't just do one. You've got to either do a soft tail like fingerprint and a hardtail or 2 hardtails. So you want to plan those out. That wasn't exactly planned. That looked a little more impulsive, but did kind of take. The bug arm in the drive-by was mostly behind the pillar, but the sniper had it on screen. We did hit the 2 flirt in the meantime, by the way, and then immediately went looking for the ambassador, and we found them very quickly. 2 missions done, 3 minutes left, but it's very hard to tell how on this the sniper is because they were definitely looking in that general area, definitely worried about it, even though the pillar gave us a bit of an assist.
Yeah, the laser's been kind of lingering on us here, even though we're not really near any mission site, just trying to put in the sniper's mind how much attention they need to be paying to us. That bug can definitely be credited there, but I don't think it's seen outright or we would be dead here. We have 2 missions done and 3 minutes left, and one of them is a hardtail, so that's really nice to see. But we have to plan out where we want to go next here. We could go for a center inspect, but instead it's just going to be a fake banana bread here, in fact.
Fake banana bread until Orange Sorry leaves and then goes right back into the conversation, and then we do it again after an SDA joins. That's a very strange sequence of events. The fake suggests to me that they are worried, they are a suspect for that bug, and are trying to shed a little heat. Although, one thing to keep in mind, if we're not dead, it could be that the sniper is just not positive and very disciplined. Might be a hint. If Yvonne shoots as the second Bourne could be done, that's an indicator that we have a very disciplined, experienced sniper on our hands for mostly seeing the bug but waiting for the mission win count anyway. You do see that sometimes. There is a fingerprint on this statue. It's a side statue. We get a road statue highlight for it. This one's not difficult. See, the nice thing about these non-difficult prints is you get them no matter what. It's all timing based. 2 inspects, 1 fingerprint, and we have a lot of ways to finish with 2 minutes left.
It's really nice to see partial mission progress here on Library because it just gives you options. If the party's not cooperating as the timer winds down, you don't find yourself left high and dry having to go for some desperate purloin. We can't even go for a desperate bug here. With partial progress on both inspects and prints and with bug done, that gives us really good flexibility as the time winds down, now down to 100 seconds.
Yeah, and we are in a conversation with a double agent, so we might want to get that real contact in this time. There's a general rule that if you hear 2 BBs, the second one is the real one, and that holds true here. Sniper is zoomed in, looking at this conversation, is really worried about that guest list, it seems. Takes some lowlights, but there are not that many, especially relative to mission progress. Bourne going into side statue, might be inspect swapping here, but you got to imagine they're more interested in that fingerprint. They have so much time still. They could get the sniper a little off guard with this much time on the clock, but let's see. The inspect for sure is done. Back down after 1 cycle, and the sniper is watching, a little worried about that swap. We kind of bump into the ambassador. Ooh, funny thing to do with bug already done.
Yeah, we're going into bookcase here, and I appreciate not going for the swap there. Laser obviously giving us a lot of heat for going immediately to the statues here, but we are on mission win countdown all of a sudden.
Yep, there's a print at the green shelf where we started the game flirting, and the sniper's none the wiser. I don't think either of those prints were caught, certainly not the second one. That is just a really clean win with 42 seconds left. What an answer from Jason Bourne after losing that tough sniper game. Very impressive.
Yep. I think it's good to go for these non-difficult prints As we saw, if you can get to it before someone comes in and smudges it, it just gives you such a better chance of hitting that. Those fingerprint action tests can also be a little off-putting, especially for some people who haven't had a chance to practice. They are a little different than the normal white, red, and green tests. Those difficult prints can really throw you off, and we go for 2 easy ones here, not counted by the sniper, and we come away with a win.
Yeah, and that distinction between clean prints and smudged prints, actually very difficult to do when you don't know your opponent. Against an exceptional sniper, you're much more likely to try to bet your game on a difficult print, an AT to win it, which is pretty good odds if you hit those pretty consistently against a good sniper. But if you knew you were up against a novice sniper or an intermediate sniper, you'd probably just take the safe thing, and you don't know which is which, and you're not going to have any kind of idea until at least the first few games. So a lot of interesting strategy. You might play differently when you have no idea who your opponent is than when you have some idea. Either way, it's going to be 1-1 heading into ballroom. Yvonne on the spy now, playing his green dress in 3, 2, 1, planet. I don't know. Those look like 2 really good spy games to me in the first set.
Yeah, I mean, Spy's got some really good progress there. We're here on Gallery, where the pacing is not quite as brutal and the mission count is not quite as brutal. We start off here with a good flirt, and on Gallery, it's all about that, on Ballroom, it's all about that 4th mission. So many options here. Bug, obviously a very popular one, especially among spies for whom Ballroom is one of their favorite venues. We know we have one of those in the match.
Yep, and the Ballroom's pretty popular, so that definitely could be a few different people. Also interesting to think who would be interested in Ballroom when they know they're not going to know their opponents, right? Someone might not normally be into it, but as a kind of, against a phantom player, you know, not knowing who you're going to play, your venue choices might change a little bit. Hard to say. As you mentioned, green flirt, quick briefcase cancel. That was very solid, but the sniper does not seem to have noticed. Sniper does seem disproportionately interested in Purloin, though. With the low viewing angle on Ballroom, it can be very hard to see those fades, very easy to forget about it. Yvonne is in the conversation across from their seduction target this time. It's going to be a green test, but even though the first one was 51%, this one only gets us up to 79. We'll still take it, though. Amba is a little vulnerable, but their back is to the sniper. And the sniper is zooming in on every tray down. If Yvonne times a bug to that tray timing, it will be completely free.
Yeah, we're very respectful with this flirt. Perhaps worried the sniper's going to be tracking us really hard after the very early talk. But of course, the consequences, even with that green, is going to be that much slower for us. We know this is not a venue that Yvonne prefers, having ranked it, I believe, as a 5. So they may be a little less comfortable here knowing what the spacing is supposed to be.
Yeah, and I also wonder if not putting any venue as a 1 is sort of a way of obscuring their identity, too. Might be interesting. Say, put these 2s, and that still gets the weighting I want or close to it, but people have less idea of who I am. Maybe that's a meta strategic decision. I don't know. The banana breads come off. It's a fake, though. We're seeing a lot of those. And we're going to finish up this flirt. We're across from our seduction target again. It's a white, but we actually nailed the distance because the white's just close enough. I wasn't sure if it was going to be pixel perfect, perhaps. I don't know. Either way, the seduce is done with about 90 seconds left. We're being offered a drink, and we're going to take an innocent drink, which is a little surprising given our lack of mission mission completion progress so far.
Yeah, we really need to step on the gas here. I could imagine something like an inspect swap being in our future here. That fake contact didn't help with our progress. We're going towards the ambassador, and okay, fine chance for a bug, but we're not going to hit it. Now we have a minute 10. We need to come up with a plan, and we can't just hope something will present itself. And we need to move, and we need to do it now.
Yeah, we made a good attempt there, and it was actually a very good bug attempt. It was mostly covered by the pillar, and the sniper was not guarding it that closely enough. If it had taken, we'd be in very good position right now, but we're not. And again, this is our second spy game from Yvonne, and both times, lack of mission progress until the final minute. Whether or not this game ends like the other one, we'll find out. Another bug attempt. It misses again, and it is clearly seen this time. Jason all over it. Yvonne having trouble with mission progress, does not get away with it this time like they did on Library, though. 2-1, Jason Bourne.
Yeah, and I do wonder if maybe Jason looked at the replays after the first set and saw what kind of time pressure Yvonne was under and thinking, maybe I just need to watch for some of these late game bugs, late game hardtails as they try to make up some progress. This could be something they're watching for as the set goes on.
Yeah, absolutely could be. Jason Bourne now on the spy up 2-1, playing as Orange Sorry on Ballroom in 3, 2, 1, planet. The names are just for fun, famous spies, old art characters, things like that. They don't have any other different abilities. Orange Sorry's not going to roll up a newspaper and put it in a toaster or anything cool like that, unfortunately, but I'd love to see it. Come on, Simino, do it. Model it for us.
Are you saying these names are not secret coded messages that are puzzles that reveal the spies' identities to us?
I'm not saying anything. I didn't give anything away, I promise. Jason Bourne is at Windows looking out at them. We're going to get a flirt in, actually, here at Windows. It's going to be a green test, but only 42%, but you can't be picky at Windows like that, so we'll take it. It's going to be a 3 flirt at best, but it's not too bad. 3 minutes left still. we have a character who's very good at bugging, but will lose most briefcase races. We saw fingerprints and emphasis for Bourne on the library game. We'll see if it happens as well here. A little harder to get away with on Ballroom, though. We are going to take our time, idle in a conversation, then join with our seduction target. Again, not close. We already know it's going to be a 3 flirt, so might as well lean into that a little bit. But someone standing between us, a chaperone perhaps. It's a white test, doesn't matter, 76%. Any close flirt will do next time.
We know this is one of Jason Bourne's favorite venues, and picking Orange Sari suggests to me very strongly that they're going to be favoring Bug. Orange Sari having a really good Bug animation. The Ambassador's actually in a very vulnerable spot right now. We could go for this Bug. There's a briefcase there as well to sweeten the deal if we can stop its statues and chase the Ambassador away. For now, it looks like we're content to sit here and timer flirt. So with 2 minutes on the clock, we are also making slow progress here, just in line to finish up our first mission as the clock counts down to around 2.
Yep, and Kane is next to the Ambassador now, is going to force them to move, I think, in just a second. And if they walk by us, things could get interesting. We have a slow character. We could try some sort of risky walking bug. It looks like the personal space is actually not being violated. Wow, I really thought from this angle it would be. The Ambassador stayed put for the last 30 or 40 seconds or so. And I think we actually probably want them to move, since we don't look interested in taking this bug, even though, as you mentioned, they are kind of vulnerable. Seduce is done, and we're actually pretty close to in the same position as Yvonne was in the previous game, with flirt done and nothing else, coming down on a minute.
Yeah, here it's going to be a little bit difficult to provoke some kind of Civ shot if that's our goal. We will step into conversation with Double Agent, so Bug coming would help with that. And it looks like it'll be a pretty decent one if it comes off.
Yeah, this is pretty good. Oh, wow. Seek joins too. You got to take this right here. The SDA was out of conversation, which is really unfortunate. We were playing the odds there, but I think it might have hurt us. We're one of just 4 or 5 people who could have a reel now. And yeah, the guest list is right next to us being offered to a cast member who's going to take it. This might be a surprisingly sneaky good time to do it, though, with a minute left. Jason Bourne has offered the drink, did not request it, I don't believe, and is not interested in the purloin. 2 missions done, 1 minute left. We're going to be rushing a little bit here late. The Ambassador has not moved. How do we finish? 47 seconds. No move.
We're slow characters. Our options are somewhat limited. We can still go for that bug. Ambassador's still vulnerable. We will be able to center inspect, but it's going to have to be soon. We can't make any further progress in this conversation. We're going to go ahead and request a drink. So I guess the purloin here, and there is a bit of a chain.
Yeah, a little bit of a chain, and it's going to continue. Green, purloin. We're going to go into center statue behind the Ambassador. We get a road highlight. Let's see if this fade gets seen. Another reject. It's Queen this time. This is getting out of control.
And it's a swap.
A swap. Why? Why would we do this? I guess we think we weren't going to hit the inspects. There's the fade. It's clearly seen. They see green dress take it. Picks up a highlight, though. Mission win pending. All the low lights are coming off. We have this down to the chain. But the mission win pending means what else can it be? It has to be a time out or a swap, because purloin is the only other thing, and it's already happened. If the sniper has the presence of mind to know what's going on, they're trying to line up the shot. Jason Bourne is hiding.
We're dancing.
5 seconds left. They get the shot finally. Wow. Oh my goodness, the swap, not strictly necessary, but I really think the sniper was completely on the ball, because when the clock hangs, it can only be one of 3 things: pending purloin, pending swap, or time ad, and purloin was already gone, so I think they figured out it had to be Orange Sari.
I am suspecting that was action priorities that caused a swap instead of an inspect. I can't imagine it being any
big camera shake from the spy.
I can't imagine it being actually intentional.
Yeah,
that is an action priority.
That is really unfortunate, because when you look at the timing of the purloin and the reaction and everything like that, it makes it pretty clear, I think, that they were going to get away with that.
They bothered to inspect the statue they were holding after they swap. I feel like, because I think they wanted to maybe they thought that they may have time to finish inspects anyway, because I assume they would have preferred to.
Well, who knows?
Inspects over swap, but
maybe just panic in the moment. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's easy to imagine, but look at that. The purloin happens at 9.8 seconds, and the shot doesn't come off until well into overtime. So what that tells us is if they don't swap, if they inspect, that's a win. Tough way to lose, but really good presence of mind from Yvonne to figure out who that had to be, I think.
Yep, staying very disciplined, seeing the list gone, saying, okay, list is gone, the clock is hanging, I don't need to take a shot, I can wait. And then as soon as the overtime starts, very quickly figures out who it could be and takes a really difficult shot into traffic, actually.
Yeah, it's a good thing, but they did know they had the 10 seconds, I think, because they took about 5 to take it, and that's a very scary time if you don't have the benefit of knowing for sure that you have the full 10 seconds, right? Because most overtimes are not 5 seconds. Most overtimes are a few seconds long. When you know you have the full 10, you can really be calm and make sure you line that up, and that's exactly what Yvonne did there. Yvonne now spying, somehow still tied here, I believe, 2-2, playing a Smallman on Pub. This is Pub 3-6 with Inspect turned off, so the SEL standard as you've come to know and maybe not love it. In 3, 2, 1, plan.
Yep, Smallman here, certainly a choice on Pub. Not as dangerous a choice as on a lot of other venues. The sight lines here are very open. The sniper angle is very high. So Smallman's not going to be as suspicious as he would be on some other venues. Gives us a little bit more clearance to pick him here.
There are 7 people at bar. We are the very first one, and we pick up a delegate from it and get a flirt 22%. We don't try to get out of there really quick, though. We hang around and sip to get the flirt rather than try to run away from the bar rush. But the purloin might not be very well narrowed down if we time our delegate really well. We're going to idle in this conversation, sip, and the ambassador's going to join us, so we are going to leave, I think, a little bit late, actually. I'm not sure that's valid, but we're going to redirect off the briefcase and go right back, fishing for a low light a little bit here. Amba leaves, and we're running out of time to delegate if we still want to do it, and I think it would be a missed opportunity given that bar rush.
I'm taking a lot of note here of the sniper's lights on the bar visitors. They're only highlighting people that actually take a drink. So if you're someone who just routinely highlights anyone who goes to bar without waiting to see if they took the drink or not, this may not be your sniper game.
Yeah, we joined this. Yeah, absolutely. We join a conversation, get a quick flirt in, and we immediately delegate because we're running out of time, and that's the case. Just a few seconds later, it's already too late. We try a weird crash bug, fail it, and Jason is zoomed in on it. Again, they're zoomed in on the bug, just like they were on Ballroom. Jason Bourne protecting the bug very, very well so far. And I gotta tell you, these little camera wiggles of frustration, they definitely remind me of someone. I won't say who just yet. That's a cough and a full conversation on the BB. Smallman's just done. That is rough. Crash bug attempt. Red BB. That game fell apart quick.
Yeah, we often say that on Pub as Spy, you have to take some risks trying to get mission progress here because it's so easy to see things. And we talked a little about Smallman's size. That is a place where the conversation is very full. You can be kind of hidden, but as a highlight there for going to bar, that weird bug attempt is definitely going to be seen. And after it's seen, the cough, I think is just death. Even hiding behind all those people, instant look from the sniper, and the shot comes off.
You know, White Dress was taking a sip of her drink, and we shot through her closed arm loop. Very stylish, as a matter of fact. Jason Bourne now as the Spy on Pub, up 3-2, I believe, playing as Duke. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. Speaking of stylish, look at this, the white bow tie. That's not something I can pull off, if I'm being totally honest.
We're going to stay in AI control here for quite some time, and that makes sense here on Pub. You can get some nice bounces going through traffic at the entrance to the inside, and some snipers will low-light you for that. If we're happy with wherever the AI is driving us, no reason to take control. See if you can hit those bounces and earn a low light. We don't, and instead we pick up a highlight for being at bar.
Yeah, we're still AI controlled, and you're right, pub pathing in particular is very idiosyncratic, and some snipers have mastered it and take a lot of cheeky lowlights as a result, because a lot of spies don't bother to study it. But again, yeah, you don't have to if you never take control. Jason Bourne, we are under 3 minutes here, has still not taken control of this character. The character is, by the way, doing a lot of AI things too, a lot of bumping and stutter stepping. When you don't take control, sometimes they just sit there and do nothing, and it's all for naught when you could be doing things. In this case, though, they did a whole bunch. We're not low-lit for it, but that is actually the kind of thing you're hoping for when you know control.
Well, we do finally take control here after fishing for that low light. Nothing comes off of it, unfortunately. And so we're going to go back in, maybe chase our seduction target a little bit here. But we have 2.5 minutes. That's still plenty of time on Pub to finish stuff. But unfortunately, we're not even going to flirt off here. So we have to come up with some kind of plan not to waste the next 30 seconds.
And we've seen pretty good progress so far from Bourne. That path out of the doorway, I'm not sure if that's quite right or not. We're going to be obligated to take this briefcase if someone doesn't beat us to it. Now the ambassador has left. We're going to have to leave after this idle. The idle is just now finishing up. We get back down to a neutral light. We take the case as we are obligated to do. I believe this is a clean fingerprint.
Yeah, I think it will be, and the ambassador is moving here, so we can quickly put it back down if we want. Fingerprints on Pub can be pretty strong. The ambassador doesn't always leave that many of them, unfortunately, because there's just not much things for them to touch. If they go to bar, though, and you can pick up a good bar print, those can be very, very good.
Jason Bourne idling again in this conversation, and that would be perfectly fine, except that we have no flirt progress at all. We have no contact, and we just have just one fingerprint. We have to get some flirt progress going. We're going to smush our way into this conversation, but it's not going to be close enough for a 2-flirt, even if we hit the green, I don't think, and that is very, very significant. I don't know if we can afford to be polite either and wait too long to talk. We don't. It is a green test, and it's 44%, and that could easily come back to bite us. The fact that we're going to need to at least 3-flirt We're going to have to run around. I think the ambassador just left a print on the bar, but I think it's already being smudged and it's about to be gone entirely. There are only so many ways to finish this game right now.
Yeah, I have to imagine at this point with 1 minute left, we're just starting to think about a delegate frame and taking the list and hoping someone gets shot for it. That's certainly an option here on Pub, and it's happened quite a few times. We're requesting a drink here. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, this gives us some options. Gotta imagine it's gonna be a delegate. It is. There's no print here, difficult or otherwise, as expected. We're gonna go right back out the front door. And we don't need to stand too close here because it's a 3 flirt, but we are gonna stand close. We're gonna stand as if we could 2 flirt. It's going to be a white test, 78%, so anything even moderately close, white test or green for the last flirt will do, but we don't even have time to timer flirt. We have 30 seconds. We're going to have to delegate to our seduction target. We don't do it. They leave. Now we're obligated to idle again. So much time has been spent idling alone in conversations. The ambassador joins us. We can delegate to them and hope it isn't noticed and prompts a shot, but I don't even think that's going to be quick enough because we need to get to overtime. Before that, there's a bug. We walk right across the conversation, and bug. I don't see any reaction from the sniper, though. But we also didn't delegate. We need to time ad. We're sipping at windows. Even though we might have gotten away with the bug, we still might time out because the sniper has no idea it's even happened. Here comes the time ad. It's green. It happens with 1 second left on the clock. The beeps are slowing down. We are the only character at windows when it happens, though, and we are glowing.
Yeah, I have to imagine the timing of that time ad was intentional, trying to hit the green just as the time hits 0 so the beeps don't slow down particularly noticeably. We do finish our flirt here. We have bug. This is a game that we can still win if we can find a good contact or even better, another print. I think contact is a good chance of ending up with us dead, but a print, if it's not noticed or if the first print wasn't noticed or remembered.
There's the BB. It's green. We're the only one in there, and we immediately get shot with 10 seconds of overtime. The double agent redirected twice before joining us. We thought we wanted them to, but we really didn't. Wow, I think we got away with that bug totally clean, but at that point, there just weren't that many suspects left, and even greening it, I think we were the only person who had a reel. The suspected double agent was inside, so we're literally the only person who could have BB'd.
Yeah, it's just really bad luck there from the contact. I mean, contact's always going to be risky for us there if we were noticed at Windows time adding, and unfortunately we don't get any lowlight from our investment into AI control at the beginning. But when you're the only person in conversation when a contact comes off and overtime starts, there's really no chance. I mean, the sniper just has to shoot you.
Yeah, so the only way that isn't the spy is if the spy completed their 3rd mission at almost exactly the same time the BB went off, which would be insane. Good luck betting on that. That made that much easier for the sniper than it should have been. Although, I don't know how much they earned because, again, they missed a very, very cheeky, aggressive bug right out front, right across an empty conversation. But it works out. There have been some very, very close calls already in this match. We'll see if there's any more. Yvonne playing as Sari on Gallery. Bold choice with the character speed in 3, 2, 1, playing it. I definitely think, though, despite some of these strategic mistakes, these seem like 2 very skilled players to me. I'll be surprised if either one of these is particularly new or unskilled.
Yeah, as you mentioned, picking Orange Sari here, and it's not their first time picking Orange Sari. The first was on Ballroom, where it makes a lot of sense. Here on Gallery, it's very dangerous, as you can be forced to traverse up and down, chasing down your seduction target, chasing down the double agent. We do pick up a flirt here before they leave, which is huge. It would have been very unfortunate for us if we had to go and chase them. We're going to go stand right next to this briefcase, maybe hoping to pick it up.
Yeah, the flirt matters that much more when you're playing a slow character. And look at that. That's a floor-length dress. You're not going to be running in that, even if you could run in this game. We're going to cut in front of Taft at green bookshelves. And the question is, are we killing time, or are we actually thinking about doing something with this? What we do with this book might tell us how the rest of the game is going to go. Rote statue highlights coming off. We are standing at the green shelf. Are we walking this out, or are we putting it back? We're putting it back. We're just killing time, probably to see where the seduction target goes. They are out front still. And we'd love to get that done, but I think we're going to have to pick something else. I don't think you want to risk walking all the way down the venue with a character this slow in a full conversation and just hope the seduction target doesn't move. This is risky.
Well, that is our plan. We're heading outside here, and there is at least space in that conversation. You can definitely end up in situations where you can't even join. There's a spot for us right next to our seduction target. We'll join. We'll go ahead and let off this flirt. We don't have to be too polite when we're outside. The sniper's often zoomed in. And that's another green taking us to 100%. That's at least a little bit of recompense for all that time that we burned inside. We have 2.5 minutes left. We have 1 mission done. This sounds pretty familiar, but on Gallery, it's going to be even harder to recover from this time-wise. We need to find some quick progress.
That was a very risky choice walking all the way out there with this character for that flirt, but it absolutely paid off. We have 2 flirted with 2.5 minutes left, and even though it's only seduced, it's a pretty big one. That really worked out. That could have changed the trajectory of the entire game, and with it, the match. We're waiting at this painting pad. I wonder if we're lining up a purloin. It looks like we're eyeing the ambassador or waiting someone to leave statues. We're waiting for someone to leave statues. That's what it's going to be. The question is, are we going to frame someone for a swap here, or are we just going to try to finish inspects?
Looks like it will just be inspects, as Queen also goes back to statues, though. That's her second visit here. I like the decision to go to statues here just because we're really close to it. It's good to make mission progress near where you are rather than having to walk 50 feet to every single mission site that you visit. With those inspects done, we have an escape valve for the second half of this game as we go for a bug here. Very risky to take that bug angle on gallery, but it looks like it's stuck.
Yeah, it absolutely stuck. It's a little dogleg path on gallery, and it seems to have worked really, really well. That is a pretty good bug. The path is a little noticeable, but there's a lot of movement on gallery and a lot to watch out for, and we're just going to rush right into statues now and try to finish this, and if we don't get shot for this, I think there's a really good chance we're going to get away with it as long as the banana bread is solid. The double agent is out front. We can see them from the spy camera. Big moment of truth as we finish these inspects. There's the third. We're going to two-cycle anyway, just play it cool. I think Yvonne thinks that they're mostly fine here. They're taking their time. They've got a full minute left. Someone is just left out front, which means there's an easy spot in that conversation with the double agent. When they join, if they wait a few seconds and get a good one, gotta imagine this is going to be a mission win, but we'll see in a moment.
I really like the decision of going back to statues, not just in the last 30 or 60 seconds of the game. You've got your statues, you made your other progress, go back to statues, finish, and contact.
Here we go. BB, here come the lowlights. That means a win. Just like that. The sniper just did not seem interested in the inspect finish. This is just a boringly clean game from Yvonne. And with the character good at bugging, as we talked about on Ballroom, they do indeed bug on gallery, and they too flirt too. Can't overstate how potentially important that is. They took that chance, making the marathon trek outside to see General, was rewarded with the green test, and that is just a really powerful gallery game. Excellent job from Yvonne. And now Jason Bourne has to try to answer on gallery playing. Oh, here's Duke again. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. That is just a really clean gallery game.
It's a really clean gallery game. It's a game that we played as a neutral light. We were probably a ghost in the sniper's eyes. We have to see if Jason Bourne can repeat the same thing, or if they're going to have to play this entire game as a highlight, which can be a lot harder. You do something early that earns you that highlight. It really constrains the rest of your play. That bug would have been a lot harder if we'd gone and finished our inspects first, I suspect.
Yeah, absolutely. Jason Bourne has a green flirt at the start of this. A lot of ATs being hit. A whole lot of this going on. And the ST leaves almost immediately, so Jason Bourne, you could see eyeing them up. That's a pretty short painting pad stay, but we saw that from Yvonne too. Both of them being pretty aggressive with these early flirts, and it hasn't hurt them yet. We decide not to chase the green shelves, though. We are zoomed out here, protecting the amp out front. This would be a weirdly good time for a purloin, but no, Jason Bourne says it's a weirdly good time to just take a drink.
Yeah, well, sometimes you're just thirsty, and in this back conversation, you don't want to take a purloin unless you're really sure there's a good chain, because that purloin spot in the back, even if the sniper was zoomed in on the ambassador in that particular case, is typically watched very carefully by the sniper. You can't credit them as someone who's just going to let you get away with a purloin unless you feel good about the chain that you have, so there's always a pretty good chance you're going to end up with a white.
Salmon joins. Not close enough for the two flirt, but we'll take what we can get. Not too bad. It is another green test. That's going to bump us up to 94%. So anything at all now will get that done. Standard road statue highlights coming out again, and there are quite a few of them already for them, including a small man. Looks like we're just going to timer flirt for this seduce. Both spies prioritizing seduce on gallery. It tells me that they've watched at least a couple casts where we bemoaned how difficult that mission can be and how many spy games are lost to it. The sniper, Yvonne, is really watching Ambassador, though, at the expense of a lot of other things right now.
We have seen a lot of bugs come through in this set, maybe making them pay a little more attention to the ambassador. Unfortunately, the double agent leaves our conversation. We talked about how important it is to get a good seduction. It's also important to get a good contact, as the ambassador joins us here.
That is a Twitch bug. That is a Twitch bug, and it looks pretty good, but a highlight comes out from Yvonne. I think they suspect it, and I think it's going to be very hard to finish now. That is a good bug and an even better catch by the sniper, I think. They did not have as much cover as they would have hoped. You can see Ponytail blocking that angle. Was not there before. We're going to do the real contact here. It's a white test, and we're talking, and this could lead to a shot right away. It absolutely does. It's just a Twitch bug. Good attempt, but if they had one more person to their left in that conversation, it would have been much better covered. Great catch from the sniper.
Yeah, it's not something easy to see. A lot of times when the ambassador is in a conversation like that, you're going to watch them for maybe a second, maybe 2 seconds, but if no immediate bug comes off, you sometimes just put your attention away somewhere else. Someone was taking a drink at the exact second we tried that. Really good job from Yvonne picking up on the bug despite the distraction.
It was pretty close. It wasn't a perfect bug. It happened just a quarter second too late into the idle, but it was still barely noticeable. You'd have to be guarding the AMBA. But as I mentioned just about 20 seconds before, that is exactly what Yvonne was prioritizing, was the ambassador, and they're rewarded for it here because they catch a bug that would be easy to miss if you weren't looking right at it, but they were. Really good. 5-3, I think, now from Yvonne, which means, since it's a best of 10, they have a chance to clinch right here and avoid all that horribly dramatic, overwrought overtime stuff that we referenced earlier, but it's going to be happening on Taen. Yvonne as Leopard on Taen in 3, 2, 1, playing it. The first two shojis are on one side over statues, and the one in the back is behind the book. So it's not quite all three on one side, but it might as well be in the way we mostly care about.
Yeah, we're going to start off in the back conversation. Pretty slow start to Taen. This is pretty typical. You want to find who's going to be vulnerable. The ambassador moves back into this conversation. We have a chance for a bug pathing over towards statues here if we want to take it, but it has to be soon. The ambassador's going to be forced away pretty quickly.
Yeah, it'll be a suspicious path, but that's not saying anything new on Taen. There'll be a lot of that. However, better bugs will come. That is not one of them. That is a bug attempt on the arm facing the sniper with no cover, and immediately Jason Bourne answers right back, catching a bug of their own. This one not nearly as good. I think it was just an impulse bug. Probably thought better of it as the shot was going through them. That is rough. That is quick. Jason Bourne, chance to tie this up in a matter of seconds, playing his red dress on Taen. Same shoji setup. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. Not much analysis on that one, hey, Corvus?
No, not really there. I mean, we try for a bug. It doesn't work. It gets a shot. That sometimes happens here. And sometimes you take a bug. Here, we're going to take a quick flirt. Flirt a lot safer than taking that early bug. We get away with it. And now we're going to go chill in conversations. The ambassador stands right next to us again.
Yeah, right next to us. But this is not as good as it looks. You know, we say on Taen, you know, you can take a lot of different bugs, but you're going to get better opportunities. You're going to get opportunities where the sniper legitimately cannot see it, and at most they have to credit it, and you're going to be one of several people probably who's credited with that sort of bug. It's tempting. It's a good bug opportunity on any other venue, but on Taen, it will get better if you're patient. And Jason Bourne, so far, is being patient, determined not to give this right back with a chance to knot things up and force overtime. If Yvonne wins, though, that's the set, and they will have earned it with some of that spy play. We have flirted twice now. The first one's green. The first one's white. The second one's green, but either way, it ends up at 85, that familiar percentage. Our seduction target is Duke, by the way, and did come to us, so that's a little fortuitous. 2.5 minutes left, though. Flirt most of the way done, but the clock doesn't matter as much on this venue because you can chain missions together quick. There's a fake banana bread. Both DAs are out of conversation.
This is really unfortunate. When you let off one of those fakes, it doesn't really earn you anything here if none of the SDAs are in. It just lets off a couple of lowlights, and the sniper knows at that point that it was completely fake. They don't have to worry about anybody being real. As far as they're concerned in terms of mission completions, no contact has come off, and you're not gonna be able to get a civ shot there because nobody has real. You don't even know it.
That's just 2 free lowlights, both of them men in dark suits, one of them small, one of them tall, but they're totally free if the sniper's on top of things. Normally, when you do a fake like that, what you do is you see the double agent in the other conversation, you do it and you hope they lowlight assuming real or highlight assuming real. That's the benefit you get. In this case, we get no benefit, only detriment, and the seduce is still not done because Duke has gone to the other conversation. The DAs are in now, though. Now you could fake. But at a certain point, you're just giving off too much. You give off at least a couple more lowlights here. That's exactly what's going to happen. Salmon and Bling are going to get knocked out as the DA comes off, but it is done at least. We're going to have to leave conversation pretty soon if we want to finish this flirt. We've given away several free lowlights, but the game is not over yet. The party is very whittled down, and remember, the SCL standard this season is already whittled down from last year.
Yeah, the change from 14 characters to 12 has made a big difference in bugging here on Taen. We're in conversation with our selection target. We'll finish that off, but it's not always free like it used to be here to get a good bug. With 12 characters, you do have to work for it. You have to find a good setup. Like you said earlier, you can wait and a good setup will present itself, but when it does, you have to take advantage of it. And with a minute left, we're starting to run down the clock.
Yeah, and this is not a spot where you can get that bug if it is going to come to you. You're not in a bugging position. There are certain positions where you hang out and you're going to get it eventually. Like right next to Taff, for example, the spot that just opened up as one of the cast members walked away. Jason Bourne, though, 40 seconds left, has 2 missions done and only a few ways to finish. Could be inspect swap, could be Perlin into bug. There's still a lot of options, but we're going to have to make a choice pretty soon. We're offered a drink right out front. We're going to take an innocent drink. That's going to severely limit our options. Only one hand can bug now, but there is a fingerprint here, so we do have a couple other ways to finish. We're going to go right into the briefcase. We're going to go for dual prints. Boom, boom, back to back. Is there even one on here? Is there even a print on here? If there is, we're not taking it. There's no print on the case. Maybe we thought there was. We must have thought that given how little time is left. We're going to have to time out in the back now. And the sniper is staring at us, trying to guard this bug, flashing on us to indicate that they are about to win this match. The drink is gulped. We're heading out front. What are we going to do? We're just going to time out. That's it. Yvonne wins.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. Going for that case right after getting that drink, trying to double fingerprint, would have given us enough time to find something there. We go stand next to the ambassador, but with drink in hand, we can't even get the bug that we wanted. And so unfortunately, we're going to finish here with just 2 missions done. We don't even get the time ad off. And as the last game of the set, that lack of time ad is going to be the end of the match.
Yeah, and it was going to be over anyway. You saw the flash on the back there. The time ad might have narrowed it down a little more. Maybe you get lucky and some AI does something crazy, but it really looks like that game was over already, going for those prints there late. Wow. That was a very well played set. All right, so tell me how this is supposed to work. Are we intended to give guesses now, or are we going to leave that to the people in chat? Gabriel, Kletos, how would you like us to do this?
Well,
Because I think Corvus, you and I both.
All right. Well, the first thing that we can give, I believe, is each player was given the opportunity to guess their opponent's identity after the set.
Ooh.
And so I'm going to reveal that Jason Bourne guesses. Guesses that their opponent is Ponoob.
I'm going to say no.
My laughing kind of indicates that no. And then Yvonne Pennyweather guesses Catnip.
I will also say no. I will say strong no to both of those. Just my opinion. Just my opinion.
Yeah, I would say Catnip is a stronger sniper than that.
Yes, and just some play style things in general. Yes. Okay, that's interesting. So I don't know. Maybe T.O., tournament organizer Gabriel. How do you feel about us guessing a little bit? It's okay if you don't want us to. That's fair.
That'd be great. Try and come up with some interesting guesses.
Under the guise of being very polite, but actually trying to hide my own guess and get more information before I make it. Corvus, what do you think?
Well, as someone obviously with a lot of experience in this community, knowing all these players, I'm going to go ahead and guess ANDVX actually for Jason Bourne, and D Joker for Yvonne Pennyweather.
Now I think
even though there was no Queen General combo,
even with no Queen General combo, I think that would have been just a little bit too much of a tell.
Yeah,
playing every single game as Queen General. So I think
but there's a Queen and no General. I feel like the Joker wouldn't betray the General like that.
Maybe. Okay, so obviously the Joker guess is specifically about the trouble finishing in the first two games?
Exactly.
Okay. And ANDVX, what's the thought process there?
ANDVX, I think, has the kind of name that I would associate with someone whose name was Jason Bourne. The VX has a little bit of an edge to it there, and I really think that speaks to the same kind of grittiness.
Do we know if Gabriel... Okay, so should I reveal that Gabriel just Googled spy names and... I guess I just did
all
that.
About the assignment
but the question is, did Gabriel put thought into who he assigned to which spy name?
Correct me if I'm wrong, Corvus, but I think you're suggesting some form of kismet here. You're saying they were bound to get this name, even though it was ostensibly random. Yes, it was fate.
Everything is fate.
There we go.
Well, okay, so I'm saying that Gabriel Googling the spy names is random, but then once he did, it was like, okay, now this player is like a Jason Bourne, and this one is Yvonne Pennyweather, apparently.
Well, I saw really good etiquette from both of them, so I'll take a page from your book on ANDVX. I'll trust you on that one. I'm going to say probably not to Joker because I think after the first two games, though, they were very, very good about the progress. Not that the Joker can't be, mind you, but I'm going to say that these are both silver or better for the most part. I was very impressed by the mechanics. Some of the meta decisions weren't great, but we see that even from good players all the time. And that's actually one of the things I really like about this tournament is that people are saying after one game, oh, they can't be that good. And the next game they're saying, well, maybe they're diamond. It just goes to show you that in an individual set, the level of variance from even very experienced or inexperienced players is so high. Inexperienced players do incredible things. Experienced players make incredible mistakes. Speaking as someone who lost a tournament game ignoring Toby on balcony once, as I did, we are capable of all sorts of errors. So don't be too confident, any of you. Humility is the name